Walking into the clear cut, our eyes were drawn to the island of trees just in time to see a cougar bolt for those same trees. What luck! Advancing quickly, we could see a freshly killed muley doe in the island of trees, and it's at this point the hound dogs went nuts. Spencer Rempel, the Moose Whisperer here, bringing you exciting hunting and outdoor adventure stories from around the world. Today's story is from my good friend and hunting partner, Nathan Adrian of Meadow Creek, British Columbia. And this exciting cougar hunting story takes place in the West Kootenays of British Columbia, Canada. Great cougar hunting territory. In fact, that's where I got my Boone and Crockett cougar. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Back around 1990, my older brother Wade and I decided we would like to take up cougar hunting. So we started looking for a couple of hounds. Within a month or so, we located 2 crossbred hounds from a litter of pups. And the training commenced. Buck and Bell were half-walker, half-bloodhound litter mates. Buck was all bloodhound, and Bell looked like a heavy walker, and although both were honest dogs, Buck especially had to stick his nose in every track. As the training progressed, it was time to take Buck and Bell out into the field for some real cat hunting. It was a cold, early December morning, and rather than drive for hours looking for tracks, we chose to check out Salisbury Creek. Knowing there was a good population of mule deer, whitetails, and elk, we knew there would be cats also. We unloaded the dogs about 1 kilometer from the last clear cut on Spur 1 and proceeded to walk in the last ways. What a perfect day for hunting cats. 2 inches of fresh snow made everything clean and bright and also made walking silent. The clear cut was about 7 acres, and near the left edge there was a patch of trees that had been left, maybe 10 yards from the timber and about 100 feet in diameter. You know, a kind of island of sorts. Now, walking into the clear cut, our eyes were drawn to the island of trees just in time to see a cougar bolt for those same trees. What luck! Advancing quickly, we could see a fresh-killed muley doe in the island of trees. And it's at this point that Buck and Bell went nuts. Taking up the cougar's trail, we followed the tracks into the timber and then kicked the dogs loose. Buck let out a bay and started trailing the cat, while Bell spun around back and back-trailed to the deer. I had no time to help Bell as Buck was hot on the trail steaming ahead, and I dare not lose him. So although Wade had the rifle, Buck and I were on our own as Wade went back to follow his dog. Now, after following Buck over deadfalls, under brush, and through all manners of weeds and willows, I came to the conclusion that he had lost the scent and was just out for a nice run. The snow out on the roads in a nice even blanket was spotty in the trees because most of it hung up in the branches, so I couldn't see any tracks. Now, I was young and quite fit, but a jogger I ain't, and trying to keep pace with that dog was killing me. And so I tried everything I could think of to stop that dog, but he just kept on running. After an additional 10 minutes or so, Buck paused to sniff something just a little too long, and I pounced on him, landing on the dog, and finally ending my torturous romp through the weeds. Gasping for air and digging for the leash while assuring Buck that all was okay, I realized that I was looking at a cougar track 4 inches in front of Buck's nose. Well, let me tell you, it only took me a second to release that dog, and the torture continued. But only for a short distance, because I soon found myself almost nose to nose with our quarry. The cat had finally treed. The cat was sitting calmly about 25 feet away, and though he had climbed about 12 feet up a tree, because of the steep hill that we were on, well, we were at the same level. The cat had chosen his tree well. It was a stump about 12 feet tall, with the top of the tree still attached to the stump and leaning over, touching the ground over to the right. Now, with his head above the stump and his body laying on the inclined top portion of the tree, it was a picture for the ages. And as scared as I was, sitting right there eye to eye within pouncing distance of that cat, with only a large knife for protection. I dug out my good camera for the picture of a lifetime. After taking some pictures, I called Buck back to me and pointed his nose straight at the cat. But he didn't see it. Like most animals, dogs will only see something when they pick up movement, and until then will rely completely on their sense of smell and hearing. I'm sure that the cat knew this because while the dog was looking, the cat would not move. I would make a snowball and hold the dog's head, throw the snowball, but the cat wouldn't even twitch. And as soon as the dog looked away, the cat would look around for an escape route, as he knew he was in a pickle, trapped in a tree on the edge of a 150 to 200-foot canyon. Now, about this time, I could hear my brother and his dog approaching about 1 minute before they arrived. The dog looked away, the cougar stood up and leapt down the canyon. Well, down we went, but the dogs lost the scent at the bottom. It took us more than an hour to find out where that mountain lion had crossed the canyon, about 30 feet in the air on a 4-inch diameter little blowdown. Well, shortly after that, my brother badly injured his knee, and for a while, I thought I might have to go for help. But I took the dogs, and Wade limped back to the truck as best he could. And that was the end of my first cougar hunt. As exciting as it was, it didn't produce a cougar, but man, oh man, I was going to have the picture of a lifetime. So, this is back in the day. We still had film and everything. And there wasn't even a photo place around in my little community that developed them, so I sent them away. Well, when I got my photos back and they were all developed, none of the pictures turned out. In fact, 4 pictures from the roll were gone, with no explanation. Usually, you would get back like a blurry picture or something, right? But there was nothing, and only blank stares when I asked where they had gone. In my mind, I can still see that cat sitting there, as calm as can be. Well, that's his stories, folks, but I'd like to tell yours. Send in your hunting or outdoor adventure stories to info@themoosewhisperer.com, and I'll tell them to the world. You can write them out and email them to me, or use a voice memo on your phone and share it the same way. It's darn easy. Just hit record and say, "Hey, this one time I was out hunting and you wouldn't believe it." I know you've got great stories to tell. Now let me tell them to the world. I'd also like to say that if you've enjoyed this video, this story, and you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and consider sharing the video with a friend. Heck, we're starting a community here. Thanks for watching, folks. More stories to come.